So these podcasts are for girls and women in general, whether you're single or married. I think you would find this very helpful because I found it really helpful, and that's why I thought I would recommend it, because it speaks from more of a woman's point of view. The first one is Come Over for Dinner by Bess Hawthorne. I really love cooking shows, like when people talk about cooking or how they improvise stuff. I really love it. So that's why I enjoy this particular podcast. The next one is Date Night with the Woods by Tony and Bre. I would highly recommend this for any married people, because I really think it's important to keep the marriage alive, the spark alive. And I think we are all flawed people. So, the sin is in our life and we become a little intolerable at times. And I think we need God's convicting spirit to bring us back. I really love how the tips that they give to keep marriage alive, and how to be as a couple when you have younger children, and then when they transition to middle school, things like that. They make short episodes, less than 30 minutes. I really love that. And they also bring in other couples to talk about how they do life. I think it's important that we can learn from each other and grow. So I really love this particular show and I highly recommend it. The next one is Femina by Nancy Wilson. I really love this show because it's less than 5 minutes. This is from an older lady called as Nancy Wilson. I really love that her whatever she shares is like so practical, because she's gone through the entire thing. So it makes more sense, and she always lines it back to the Bible. And I think that's what I love about all these shows. They are based on the Bible and they stand close to it. The next podcast is The Thankful Homemaker by Marci Ferrell. I love this one also. This is by an older lady again, and I love how she gives tips on homemaking and keeping the house tidy, all the things that all of us will be struggling with. And it's nice to hear it from other veterans how to do it. And interestingly, when I was listening to one of the episodes, she was talking about the fly lady. And so guys, I'm going to tell you, the fly lady helps and it works. And if you want to listen more, you can go to her podcast and you can listen on the same too. So it's really nice, and it's so edifying, to grow. And when older women come in and counsel towards what is right and what is good, I think it's wonderful. The next few podcasts are Girl Talk. These are like hosted by women, married women, and they mostly take current events and go in through it. So the first one is What Have You by Rebekah, Merkle and Rachel Jankovic. I really love this podcast. I find it very convicting. I love that they inspire homemaking, like to cook, to keep, to start a hobby. I find it very inspiring, and I love that they take current events with respect to women, because I feel like sometimes we as women get into the catty mode, and there's all kinds of things, like how we dress and how culture comes inside, or all what's about the fashion world, on thriftiness, and all kinds of things they talk about. And I find it very convicting many times, and I love that because it gets me back to the basics on what I need to be, who I need to be, who's God created me to be. So I really love this particular show. The next one is Sheologians by Jaegar and Temby. I hope I'm pronouncing the names right. I love this show also because they speak everything with relation to women. How unbiblically the world is actually taking everything out, These days it's like whatever was written, it was written long time ago. It's not what we do now. It has no relevance. Then I don't know why we're reading it only. If it has no relevance, why are we reading it? Are we wasting our time? Are we part of some club? Is this some club, popular club that we have to be part of? Or is it really the truth that's going to make our life better? And I think that's what I really love. So they usually bring in what the culture is trying to influence and going, and get us back to the Bible. because whatever we are going to do is going to be anti, culture wise most of the time, and we're going to look a little different. But I think I find it helpful because it helps to dissect certain ideas and viewpoints and thoughts, because everything sounds nice, but then when you go deep into it and you see into it, you see a very different picture, because every action has a consequence. You're just not going to see it that moment, but it's going to come. It's just flowing like a stream. It's about to come. So I really love this particular podcast, because they just dissect the current issue or what somebody is saying, and whether this is a logical thing, whether it makes any logic, or is it just something nice to listen to. So that's what I really love about this particular podcast. The last one is by the Elizabeth Foundation. I really love Elizabeth Elliot. I love her talks. She's very biblical and rooted in God's word, and that is one reason I like it. I find it edifying as a mother, as a wife, as even as a young woman. I would find it very edifying. So I would highly recommend that particular podcast.